Take a real close look. This is the Fab Four. They are hailed as the best Beatles band on earth by the LA Times. And they're playing tonight at the Salem Civic Center. But first, we are happy to welcome one of the guys to our daytime studio today.
Yeah, this is Gavin. He plays George, and he's actually from Liverpool.
Yes, Liverpool, born and bred. We don't say buttocks in Liverpool, we say bum.
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 Yeah.
You guys got all kinds of words for
and
all
you'll
kinds
be covering
of
your bum tonight.
Bum tonight, yeah. This is the attire of the Beatles. No scarf.
Okay, right. All right, if people have never heard of the Fab Four before, tell us a little bit about you guys.
Well, the Fab Four was formed in California a couple of years ago, and we found some guys that look like the Beatles and resemble the Beatles, and we've been performing since then for the past 14 years.
Not only do you look like them, but you sound exactly
How do you nail that?
I don't know, just practice really. You know, well, I'm from Liverpool, so I don't have to work too hard with the accent.
Right.
But the other guys are from New York. One of the guys is from Chicago, and a couple of the other guys are from California. So they have to work on their accents.
Let's talk about your story. I'm interested in how long you've been doing this and kind of how this became a career choice, because most people don't grow up as a little boy going, I'm going to be in a cover band for the Beatles, and then it actually worked out. How did you come to this?
I just applied to an interview one time. It was an audition actually for.
You were an aspiring musician, I guess.
I played the original music.
Okay.
And then I was working for Customs and Excise, and an audition came in to be in a documentary, and it was Pete Best, the original Beatle drummer, was putting a documentary together.
The fifth Beatle, right?
Yeah, the fifth Beatle. There's like 27 fifth Beatles.
Yeah, right.
He's the real one, though.
He's the real first, you know, he was in the Beatles. And he was putting a documentary together of his time in the Beatles in Hamburg and in the early days of the Cabin. And he was doing a documentary, and I auditioned for it, and then I got the part.
That documentary actually at one time, I'm not sure it's still on there, it was on Netflix.
Yeah, it's still on Netflix.
And I saw it.
Yeah.
So it was a really good documentary.
That was me walking around, but it was very distorted to give you that impression that it could be George Harrison, you know what I mean? But it was me. You know. Sorry to shatter the illusion, people.
I was looking on your website. There's actually your Fab Four, but you have like 15 people?
Yeah,
How does this all work?
Fab 15 just didn't sound right. So
sure. It doesn't have the same ring.
It doesn't have the same ring, does it?
Right,
I mean, it's got alliteration, but...
Yeah. We have a couple of casts of places, of people, because sometimes we have to cover two places at the same time. But when we do a PBS special, then generally you get the people that were on the PBS special. That cast will be performing tonight at the Civic Center.
And you've actually had the chance to perform with Sir Paul McCartney on
true,
stage.
yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, George passed away, and then Liverpool did their own tribute to George, and I went down. I was in another band, and I went down, and we got in, and we got to play a few songs, and then Paul came up and saw me later on. He said, "You look a bit like George," and I said, "You look like Paul." So we got in a headlock.
He'd never heard that before.
He'd never heard that before. He actually turned away, and then he came round and laughed and said, "Nice one, fantastic." You know.
What's he like? He seems like he'd be a pretty cool guy, considering just how incredibly famous.
Yeah,
he is.
he's a lot smaller than I thought he would be.
He's about my size,
all,
isn't
yeah.
he?
Yeah. Well, I have the high heel boots on, you know. But no, he was a really nice guy. He said George would have loved to, you know, people playing his songs and.
I understand here you created an act called George Harry's Son to celebrate Harrison's solo career. Tell us about that.
Well, Liverpool has an International Beatle Week every year in August, and all the Beatle tribute acts, can you imagine, from Japan and Czech Republic, they can't speak a word of English, but they sing exactly like the Beatles. It's unbelievable, you know what I mean?
It's like going to Japan.
Unreal.
It's like, they'll sing like, "She loves you, yeah."
Right.
No idea what they're saying.
They just sing it, and then they'll be like, you're like talking in Japanese. You're like, wait there a second, these guys aren't even, you know. But they actually kind of look like the Beatles too, like a Japanese version of the Beatles. They're great. So it just goes to show you how big the Beatles are. But I noticed that they didn't really play, none of the bands played hardly any of the George Harrison solo stuff. So I just went and did a lot of All Things Was Past, My Sweet Lord, Got Me Mind Set on You, Cheer Down, a lot of the you know, the later stuff that George did, because George had the biggest selling solo album of the Beatles. After the Beatles disbanded, All Things Was Past was the biggest
also one of the most
selling.
clever videos of all time. I have to
Which
say.
video?
With the talking squirrel and the you know.
What's the name of that song?
What's the name of
the squirrel?
I got some mindset.
Oh, yeah, the head start going.
Yeah.
There's two versions of that video.
But tonight's show is at 8 at the Salem Civic Center. A few tickets are still available. They are $23.50, $33.50. You can head to Ticketmaster.com or call the number on your screen there for more information. But it's going to be a great show.
It is. If you come down, it's going to be even better.
Because there'll be 3 more of them.
There'll be 3 more people.
I know, right?
All right, Gavin, good
Thank
to
you
see
so
you.
much
Thanks very
for
much.
being
Nice to
here.
meet you.
Really
Nice to
appreciate
meet
it.
you,
And have
Natalie.
fun tonight.
Take care.
And we'll be right back.